Robyn was like, I don't like dancing with you because you're like a stripper and I'm like the pole.
They said Robyn saved the family. The footage says she's the one keeping the wreckage alive. It's no longer a reality show, it's performance art, and Robyn Brown is its most exhausted performer. Desperately clinging to a decaying storyline, Robyn continues to feign the role of the devoted wife in a happy family. But her every expression betrays the truth. This isn't love. It's labor. The agony behind her eyes isn't subtle. Whether she's tolerating Cody's relentless sexual innuendos or enduring his delusional declarations of a fresh romantic start, Robyn wears misery like a wedding veil, heavy, unwanted, and dragging behind her with every step.
We own in total about 14 acres out at Coyote Pass.
Despite walking away with the lion's share of the family's money, assets, and emotional bandwidth, Robyn still believes she's owed more. The entitlement is staggering. She's not just resentful. She's simmering with the conviction that victimhood warrants compensation, and she's determined to cash every check.
We've set up a chance to have a dance lesson, and we're headed there now.
Consider the absurdity of the dance lesson debacle. A fabricated storyline dressed up as sweet family bonding. Robyn and Cody, who have been seen dancing perfectly fine in archival TLC footage, suddenly need choreographed guidance for a wedding that hasn't happened. The scenes reek of invention, complete with staged emotional beats, father-daughter dances, mother-son moments, none of which feel remotely grounded in authenticity.
We were talking about movies as space.
Robyn's motives become clearer when viewed through the lens of Aurora's upcoming wedding, which she seems intent on transforming into a full-scale TLC production. This isn't about Aurora. It's about Robyn's image, her aesthetic, her control. She envisions a lavish affair that centers her tastes. Old-fashioned, she insists, as long as it excludes the original family members, who are now conveniently framed as a safety concern. It's narrative manipulation with a price tag, and she fully expects TLC to foot the bill. Cody, in turn, is all too eager to oblige, using the opportunity to buff his tarnished reputation as an absentee father.
Just case by case.
Mary and I paid for our wedding.
Robyn's rage bubbles further when Mary declines to fund any extras for the wedding. This isn't just about money. It's about status. Mary once offered to cover budget overages for Aspen's wedding, only for Robyn to chime in with a reminder that Cody has other daughters to think of. Translation: Robyn expects Mary to subsidize her children's milestones too. Behind the scenes, the dynamics are shifting, and Robyn doesn't like it. A new production crew has apparently arrived, one that doesn't bend to her demands. Her discomfort is palpable. For years, Robyn curated her camera presence with surgical precision, rarely filming indoors, seldom showing her children, always maintaining control. But the show's evolution has forced her into greater exposure, and she's not adjusting gracefully. Now the spotlight shines into every corner of her designer-decorated mansion, a monument to expensive but questionable taste. Her children, once shielded, are thrust into awkward, stilted scenes. Solomon struggles through lines like a community theater understudy, and Ari, well, even she can't be relied on to deliver the scripted emotion about selling Coyote Pass. As for Cody, with no other wives to hand him off to, Robyn is left to bear the full burden of his eccentric affections.
He's just basically a yucky kid. And
Watching her recoil from his freshly shaved face and overzealous kiss requests is less romantic rekindling and more slow-burn psychological thriller. She's trapped in a marital escape room where the cameras never cut, and every exit is blocked by another bizarre storyline. The grand irony is that Robyn once presented herself as the moral compass of this fractured family. Now she's its last standing mirage, desperate, disillusioned, and increasingly unable to hold the illusion together. The show may go on, but Robyn's performance? It's unraveling by the episode. So now the stepdad is responsible for college, while the millionaire dad watches from his mansion? Interesting.
When McKelty comes in town, I have to throw them a birthday party.
In a world where birthdays are treated like royal coronations and every gathering must rival a Kardashian baby shower, David dares to do the unthinkable. Ask questions about money. The audacity. Christine, ever the matriarch of cheerful chaos, reveals that in the olden days of the Brown family, they simply dipped into the communal family pot to fund life's milestones, like college tuition and endless celebrations.
So everyone would contribute to the family account. We all put in the same amount to the pot.
But David, the outsider with a calculator, doesn't exactly radiate enthusiasm for that tradition. When Christine remarks, "I know you wouldn't do that," she isn't wrong. He probably wouldn't. And that's the point.
A lot of expense that we still have to cover. And Westminster costs about 4 times what UNLV costs.
Let's examine the math. David marries a woman who still has a minor child. He joins his income to hers. But now he's expected to subsidize college because the biological father, currently lounging in a $2 million suburban mausoleum, is unlikely to contribute? Cody's palatial white elephant may have more square footage than sense, but financial obligation doesn't vanish with a vaulted ceiling. Christine and David's conversation reeks of more than just blended family logistics. It's strategic staging.
A couple pieces of the property.
Does your money ever go into his hands?
Viewers are watching the opening arguments of a future child support case disguised as marital budgeting. And while the courtroom may be off camera, the evidence is being carefully laid out in prime time. Of course, the real crime here isn't just the looming tuition debate. It's the fact that this financial reality check is being foisted onto the wrong couple.
We own in total about 14 acres out at Coyote Pass.
If anyone should be talking about who pays for Truly's future, it's Cody and Robyn, architects of luxury delusion, who apparently see money management as beneath them. David, for his part, is unbothered but observant. He's not refusing to help. He's simply stating what should be obvious. Maybe let the sperm donor, who presumably still shares legal responsibility, cover his portion before the stepfather writes a blank check. And frankly, he's right to draw the line.
We put an offer on in a house in Moab. We're buying a home in Moab. It got accepted.
Not every birthday requires a parade, and maybe, just maybe, it's time to acknowledge that the TLC gravy train has an expiration date. Retirement is coming. Christine's MLM side hustle isn't exactly a pension plan, and her fleet of oversized SUVs won't pay for themselves when the camera crew packs up for good. In truth, the Brown family's financial ethos has always leaned toward sand-through-the-fingers spending. David isn't cold or controlling. He's a rare voice of reason in a sea of impulsive spending and reality TV-funded dreams. He sees the lifestyle, the looming debts, and the very real possibility that Christine's adult children might one day be forced to financially rescue their mother from her own unchecked optimism. So yes, David is asking the hard questions, because someone has to. He was funny, loyal, heartbroken, and completely disposable to the adults in the room. Gabriel Brown, Sister Wives' unexpected emotional core, has long been treated like a narrative footnote in a saga dominated by Cody's ego and Robyn's tears. But for those paying attention, Gabe isn't just comic relief or the fun uncle with fireworks. He's the tragicomic casualty of a family that specializes in abandonment under the guise of spiritual unity.
I brought your children fireworks, Madison.
Oh.
That infamous fireworks scene, where Gabe earnestly announces, "I brought your children fireworks, Madison," is both hilarious and heartbreakingly symbolic. Here's a young man trying desperately to be joyful, to give, to connect, while drowning in a sea of family dysfunction and paternal indifference. Gabe, with his oversized heart and painfully visible emotional intelligence, tried.
This is the first time we've sat down in 8 months and talked about why we're doing what we're doing, you and me.
He tried when he met Cody on Coyote Pass, practically begging for scraps of connection. What he received in return was the cold, dead-eyed stare of a man more committed to land parcels and performative patriarchy than to parenting.
Yeah?
Gabe hasn't even seen it. He doesn't even know what the town looks like.
Let's not forget the Arizona move, the moment that truly sealed Gabe's fate as collateral damage. The logistics were absurd. His parents were apparently clueless about the move's impact, while some siblings were miraculously in the know. A communication breakdown so catastrophic, it would make a reality TV producer blush. And somehow, Janelle, yes, the same Janelle who supposedly opposed the move for Gabe's sake, folded like a lawn chair the moment Cody did whatever it is he does off camera to bulldoze resistance. This is the same Janelle who had already lived through the trauma of uprooting with Hunter and knew exactly what this upheaval could do. And yet, she still chose to repeat the cycle, all while referencing Gabe as a reason not to, until she conveniently didn't. So much for the maternal backbone everyone credits her for. And speaking of credit, Gabe deserves more than the occasional, "he's so funny" nod.
If you don't get up, your dog is swirly in the toilet. Sure you want to do this?
This is the same kid who once threatened Savannah's doll with a toilet swirly and made audiences laugh, before growing into a young man who couldn't even get his father to care during a pandemic.
We gotta figure out your birthday. Okay, I've got something that's coming up.
Gabriel isn't just a lovable goof. He's the show's accidental conscience, its emotional litmus test. And the fact that he was discarded so effortlessly says more about the family's priorities than any of Cody's philosophical ramblings ever could. They called him a bomb detonator, and that was the kindest insult he got. If there's anything Special Forces inadvertently excelled at, it was putting Cody Brown in a room full of people who couldn't care less about his self-appointed status as Lord Commander of the Brown family apocalypse.
Sorry, you are not like the head of my family.
For once, the man wasn't surrounded by women trained to tiptoe around his ego. Instead, he got a front row seat to what the rest of the world already knows. He's not a misunderstood leader. He's just exhausting.
I don't think Cody Brown's capable of doing. He just talks a lot.
The episode was a masterclass in social rejection. The staff, fellow contestants, and editors all united in what can only be described as a passive-aggressive roast of Cody's delusion. When a team leader dryly suggested he might be charming and making friends, it wasn't encouragement. It was sarcasm gift-wrapped in pity. And when the crew casually dubbed him only useful as a bomb detonator, they weren't talking about courage under fire. They were pointing out he's a loud, misfiring liability best kept far from real leadership. One standout moment came during a land navigation task where Cody declared he'd used a compass, just not to navigate. Naturally, that made him the perfect person to talk over his teammates and drive them straight into failure. His partner, who later won the show, had to repeatedly redirect him like a kindergarten teacher managing an overstimulated toddler. "No, Cody. Over here, Cody." Her ability to keep him on track without yelling deserves a medal. Or, at the very least, a formal apology from the production team for pairing her with a human detour.
I'm the head of the household some places. I'm just not right here.
Of course, Cody's insistence on being the strength of the group wasn't about utility. It was about masculinity. In his head, it was a flex. In everyone else's reality, It was a cautionary tale. The women he was paired with were rarely listened to and often dismissed, which is no coincidence. Cody thrives in environments where women are expected to listen and obey. Unfortunately for him, Special Forces is not a Brown family backyard barbecue. Meanwhile, Robyn Brown, queen of eternal martyrdom, is finally getting a peek behind the curtain. For years, she's operated under the delusion that Cody is some coveted treasure, misunderstood by the world, but worshipped at home. Now, she's watching in real time as professionals and peers alike treat her hot commodity like a malfunctioning group project member no one wants to be stuck with. And the silence on her end? Deafening. No words of encouragement, no proud declarations of love, just empty air where affection should have been. The most she could muster was ego fluff, as if Cody needed one more enabler whispering sweet nothings to his inflated sense of self.
They can have me. They just don't need to treat me like crap to get me.
The real kicker came when Cody proudly announced that he reciprocates when his children reach out. A stunning proclamation from a man who seems to believe that fatherhood is a part-time job you clock into only when emotionally convenient.
Well, I will work.
He demands admiration, but offers little beyond blame and condescension. Unless, of course, you act exactly how he wants you to. Then you too can be spared the wrath of his emotional absenteeism. For all his desperate attempts to project confidence, Cody comes across like the smelly kid no one wants to sit next to. In a group of accomplished, grounded people, his glaring social awkwardness becomes impossible to mask. The irony? He's finally surrounded by individuals who earned their place through grit and talent, not 4 women and a TLC contract. Suddenly, his relevance begins to evaporate. And while some might be tempted to pity him, let's not rewrite history. Cody has spent years weaponizing sister wives to publicly drag Mary, Janelle, Christine, and even his own children. He's not just misguided, he's vindictive. When he told Christine last season she had karma coming her way, he must have forgotten that karma, unlike his parenting, doesn't skip appointments. What he's experiencing now isn't bullying. It's the natural consequence of spending years mistaking arrogance for authority and cruelty for strength. Welcome to reality, Cody. Turns out, it doesn't come with a custom hair salon or 4 wives to blame. They never lived at Coyote Pass, so why are they grieving it like a family home lost in a fire?
Ready to eat?
Hey, let's sit at the table, okay? I just wanted to tell the kids we've got...
This season has reached a new level of creative bankruptcy, and the breaking point arrived, unironically, at a folding table in the middle of a dirt lot. Watching Cody, Robyn, and their sad crab entourage, the acronym feels more like a warning label than a family unit, wax poetic about Coyote Pass was less a touching family moment and more an over-directed infomercial for a lifestyle no one ever lived.
We sell it. It's the awareness of a dream that never manifests.
Let's be clear. They never lived there. Not even remotely. Coyote Pass was never more than a backdrop for broken dreams, a few COVID-era family crises, and one particularly unfortunate pond swim that should have been flagged by environmental hazard teams. The idea that this location holds some kind of sacred family memory is laughable. At best, it's the equivalent of sobbing over a college you toured but never attended, or fondly reminiscing about a house you put an offer on, then ghosted for a better option. It's sentimental fiction posing as reality TV. And yet, here they were, staging a grief session around a dinner table with the emotional authenticity of a toothpaste commercial. Every word felt coached.
Sad because at one point Coyote Pass represented the dream of our family being...
Aurora, the reigning queen of over-rehearsed pathos, delivered her lines with the precision of someone who's been through 10 rounds of practice runs. Even Solomon, who's usually more wallpaper than cast member, was dragged into the performance. The poor kid turned beet red when trying to clarify which sisters he'd miss riding four-wheelers with. These two sisters. Not all of them, of course. Subtle? No. Scripted? Almost certainly. Then came Robyn, the eternal stage mom of emotional manipulation. She wasn't about to let Ari's natural indifference to the plotline ruin her narrative arc.
At least that way.
Ari, hey, will you give me a sweet smile? I would like you to look at me.
Watching her whisper reminders for Ari to look sad, just in case the cameras missed her supposed heartbreak, was stomach-turning. The kid couldn't care less about losing access to a dirt lot, but Robyn needed a reaction for the real. Cringe doesn't begin to cover it.
Buying Coyote Pass didn't unite us in the same way.
This isn't just poor storytelling, it's insulting. The audience is being asked to mourn the death of a fantasy that never existed. The land was never built on. The dreams were never realized. And now we're being spoon-fed forced nostalgia as if it's emotional depth. At its core, this dinner scene exemplifies the delusion at the heart of the Brown family's final chapter.
No, I want to build a barn-dominium out there.
Cody wants a barn-dominium, so naturally his children must yearn for it too. Robyn wants a porch to oversee future grandchildren, so now that vision must become the family legacy. Sad Grab isn't a cohesive unit. It's a group of kids dragged into adult delusions, asked to dream dreams that aren't theirs, and expected to emote on cue when those dreams inevitably evaporate. What's worse? It wasn't even entertaining. Cody and Robyn's antics usually offer a goldmine of mock-worthy material, but this time, it wasn't funny. It was exhausting, emotionally manipulative, and utterly unwatchable. If the producers hoped this scene would tug at heartstrings, they might want to consider whose hearts still beat for this storyline. Because, judging from the glazed-over expressions and audible sighs, most viewers have already emotionally evacuated. Robyn wanted the whole man. Now, she's stuck with every version of Cody no one else wanted. Robyn Brown, please direct your eyes to the screen.
Like, just sit down and shut up. I couldn't ever do that.
That's your man. Publicly declaring that he couldn't, just sit down and shut up. Charming and utterly on brand. One wonders what mental gymnastics she performs to justify this televised tantrum. But knowing Robyn, she likely has an entire Olympic routine's worth of excuses lined up. After all, this is her man, her prize. And apparently, she's sticking beside him through every cringe-inducing soundbite. The dynamic between Robyn and Cody is less a romance and more a tragicomedy performed in front of a camera crew.
Like in front of each other, and then kisses.
Were they all the equal flowers?
Watching them parade their dysfunction as passion is not just uncomfortable, it's physically repellent. The post-shave scene alone was enough to inspire a nationwide wave of celibacy. What was meant to be tender looked more like a hormonal high schooler's reunion gone terribly wrong. Even background husbands couldn't help but comment, why don't they just get it over with on the bathroom floor? Indeed, the subtlety of a sledgehammer. Let's not pretend this relationship was ever subtle. Their only consistent effort seems to be showing off a connection that feels about as organic as a reality TV plot twist. But here's the poetic justice.
That seems to hate Robyn, and I don't know why.
Robyn once believed the original 3 wives were seething with envy, that they were threatened by her special status, her treasured position, her hand-picked favoritism.
Married, of course, he was going to be at her house more. She's the new thing.
Now she gets to enjoy what she fought so hard for. Cody, all day, every day. The temper, the needy affection, the melodramatic mood swings. Congratulations. Robyn's current reward includes every variation of Cody imaginable. Furious Cody, clingy Cody, amorous Cody, emotionally unhinged Cody. It's a buffet of male volatility, and she's dining alone. The other wives have moved on, not with bitterness, but with blessed relief. They've washed their hands of the theatrics. Robyn, meanwhile, is stuck performing a one-woman show of heartbreak and victimhood, starring only herself. No one else is weeping over what was lost, least of all the ones who walked away.
I think sometimes he has no clue whatsoever.
There's also the matter of Cody's acting. One might assume he's taken up interpretive face contortion as a hobby. His expressions oscillate between overwrought grief and stage-managed rage. It's as if he practices in the mirror, determined to convince the world that emotional immaturity is depth. And Robyn? She eats it up. She knows exactly what he is. But she's not here for dignity. She's here for dividends. She'll drain him dry, emotionally and financially, before the last curl bounces off his head in exasperation. So yes, this is Robyn's man, the human embodiment of midlife crisis, performance art, and spiritual constipation. And she got exactly what she schemed for. No sympathy required. Ever imagine Cody Brown getting schooled by Tiffany New York Pollard? It's the reality TV reckoning he's been begging for. If Cody Brown is angling for his next act in the crumbling circus of reality television, there's a show waiting for him, but not the one he likely dreams of. It's not Dancing with the Stars, it's not The Masked Singer, and it certainly isn't America's Sweethearts. No, Cody's natural habitat is somewhere far more fitting. House of Villains. After his catastrophically tone-deaf interview on Special Forces, where he demonstrated the emotional growth of a wet sponge, it's become abundantly clear.
And I'm like, all you would have to do is change.
Cody isn't evolving. He's doubling down. Every public appearance is an exercise in historical revisionism, performed with the kind of oblivious gusto that only the truly self-deluded can manage. He doesn't just rewrite the narrative. He tries to sell it back with interest.
I think it's time for somebody to be pushing my interests.
And make no mistake, the man needs a stage. Whether it's a TLC confessional or a knockoff competition show, Cody is drawn to the camera like a moth to a spotlight. If House of Villains extended an invitation, unlikely, but let's entertain the fantasy, his ego would RSVP before the ink dried. Robyn might clutch her pearls and protest, but if there's a check involved, morality has a price. And Cody's already been in the clearance aisle for years.
You get in this place where it's like, well, I should just be the devil I think I am now.
He would, of course, attempt to rebrand himself as the misunderstood villain, the tragic anti-hero gaslit by ex-wives and social media. It would be laughable. He'd strut in believing he's the next Walter White, only to be outplayed, outwitted, and outclassed by people who make villainy an art form. Tiffany New York Pollard would annihilate him within minutes, delivering the verbal evisceration we've all been waiting for. Watching her read him like a worn paperback would be must-see TV. Cody's strategy would collapse under its own arrogance. In a Survivor-style or Big Brother-esque format, where manipulation, alliance building, and actual emotional intelligence are key, he'd be a walking cautionary tale. No amount of hair flips or pontificating would save him from early elimination, likely with the same graceless exit as Vanderpump Rules' Jax Taylor, another legend in the annals of reality TV flameouts. Unlike Special Forces, where exhaustion kept most of the cast from telling him off, a talk-heavy format like Big Brother would give his housemates ample time and material for confrontation. And if any Sister Wives fans were present, they'd have years of questions ready. The live feeds alone would be a goldmine of cringe. Yes, he might fare marginally better in a physical competition where brains and social skill aren't required, perhaps something involving obstacle courses and shouting. But producers tend to prefer contestants with more than a neck and a Napoleon complex. And while Cody would sign up faster than you can say plural marriage, it's hard to imagine a casting director begging for his brand of mediocrity. After all, this is the same man who once declared, "Maybe I should just be the devil you think I am." Congratulations, Cody. America heard you, and the devil's booking agent is online too. Subscribe for more.